Okay.
The one that it was signed in between the two memorandum of understandings.
And I see from both, when I compare them, the one is an agreement, memorandum of understanding between Ekurhuleni municipality and Johannesburg, correct? The other is the same agreement between Ekurhuleni but with City of Tshwane Metropolitan Municipality.
Yes, Commissioner.
Now, if you compare them, they are worded in the exact same terms. And in particular, I would like to refer us to page 419 of interest at clause 4, period of agreement. And both memoranda stipulate that the agreement, which is the document we are reading, shall be deemed to have commenced on the date of establishment of the Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Police Service, which establishment will commence by appropriate publication in the Gazette, you see?
Yes, Commissioner.
So I understand then from these documents that the agreements, when concluded, EMPD was yet to be formally gazetted.
I can't answer that because I was still at the college. I was a new recruit. But I know that before it was launched, it must be gazetted. That's why I'm saying it was launched 2002. Maybe drafting and other things, 2000, 2001, but I was not yet a fully fledged Metropolis officer. I was still at the college.
I accept that my question was based on what I'm reading.
Okay,
to
yes.
say that's what it would suggest. Now, to the question, you remember you put up these documents to...
Can I just ask you a question? On 428, is that date 2001 or 2004?
I read it to be 2001.
428.
428, that's signed to it on this day of August?
Or it is 2001, Commissioner?
One.
Oh, Commissioner, yes.
Thank you, Commissioner. Now, Commissioner Khumalo asked you whether it's these documents you rely upon to make the argument that you were entitled to work outside the jurisdiction of Ekurhuleni and not necessarily as part of joint operations with JMPD or TMPD. You confirm that these are the documents?
Yes, and I'm also responding to the testimony that was given here that there's no document that allows us to work outside the jurisdiction of the city. It was made by the Chief of Police.
Would you be able to say which clause in particular, at least in the document starting at 415, grants EMPD the power to operate outside its jurisdiction? And perhaps while you are thinking of that, can I refer you to page 419 of the same document? And at clause 3, under heading provision of services, it reads, and I quote, notwithstanding the date hereof, the service shall be delivered to both the area and the other area by the council and the service provider, so that the inhabitants of both areas shall not suffer disruption of service.
Which clause is that, sir, Commissioner?
Page 419, clause 3, under the heading provision of services.
Application of law provision or provisions, I can see.
Okay.
Number 3, ne?
Yes.
Yes.
The parties agree that the interests of inhabitants of both areas in regard to the provision of service are paramount and agree to cooperate with one another to ensure that interests are fully protected. Do you see where I'm reading?
Yes.
The interesting thing about this clause, as I read it, it says the service is delivered in both areas by the council and service provider. Now, if we go to page 417, it's a list of definitions there, and clause 1.1.2 defines the service provider as the Johannesburg Metropolitan police service. And that clause says the service provider, being JMPD, will operate in both areas. Now, I was trying to understand which clause should I read to understand that EMPD can also operate in Johannesburg and Tshwane.
And it doesn't also say that they can't operate without each other, but they will provide services.
Say it doesn't?
It doesn't say that they can't operate or they can't execute their duties without each other.
I wouldn't expect it to, because EMPD has got its area of jurisdiction. The question you are answering is whether or not it's authorized to operate outside its jurisdiction. And for that purpose, you put forward this document to
Yes.
confirm. Now, I'm trying to find in this document where it gives EMPD the requisite jurisdiction as you understand it.
That's why I'm saying it doesn't also specify that you can't operate or you can't execute the duties. You can't go and arrest suspect outside the jurisdiction.
Okay. So when you say it also doesn't say you can't do it, should I understand that to mean that the document doesn't authorize EMPD to do so, and neither does it prohibit EMPD from doing so? Is that your answer?
So I'm reading something, I think it's going to assist me. Can you read service standards, paragraph 5?
At page 419.
Yes.
Yes.
It says the service standard will be. Yeah, my eyes are killing me.
The one that is mutually agreed upon.
Or it says the service standard shall be mutually agreed upon both parties or their nominees and will comply with standards set by the National Commissioner of South Africa. Or South African of South.
Sorry, it's incomplete, Miss.
Yes.
There's a page missing. Page 77 is missing.
Page 5, yes.
So that paragraph 5 is not complete.
I noticed that. Thank you, Commissioner. Okay, well, let's park it for now. You check from your originals whether you do have that paragraph 5, and we can revisit the matter.
But can you also assist?
Page 5, rather.
Yes, I'm asking the commissioner, can you also assist once I'm checking? Maybe we'll get a document which is having everything. As I've said, I'm limited in terms of getting things. That's my humble request, but I will also try to get.
Yes, I thought perhaps we will check first with your original to see whether the mistake arose while the copies were being run and a page was skipped, or whether you don't have it in your original agreement, in which event then we'll try and locate a copy from the EMPD or Ekurhuleni municipality.
Yes, but may I also raise it that in the recent launch by the National Minister, the National Commissioner, it was articulated in the Premier, it was articulated, or it was said many times that gone are those days where members will be limiting themselves in terms of executing their duties. When they see the suspect here runs in the city of Johannesburg, will say, no, I'm not going there. You must make sure that you arrest the suspect. Same thing that must happen to other municipalities. And it has assisted us a lot as the city. Why I'm saying that, in fact, we are benefiting more than the city of Johannesburg, because in terms of resources, there are more resources than us. And they're more visible in the city, because I think many of them, they stay, not many of them, but there's a certain amount of officers of Johannesburg that are residing within, I'm not sure why, the city of Ekurhuleni. And that in terms of visibility, when driving the freeways, when they see offenses, blue lights, they drive in the freeway, blue lights, marked vehicle, they assist a lot. Or you find them stopping a vehicle, drunk and driving, they will call, well, we stop them, may I, Chief, this person is drunk, can I be assisted? They will assist, and the member will appear in court and the evidence will be given. But the only thing that limits us is the question of issuing of fines. because our computer numbers are limited to the city of Ekurhuleni. I'm saying this public now. A member of JMPD can come and issue a traffic fine in the city of Ekurhuleni because the courts that we are using, they are in the city of Johannesburg. The section 56 book, the notice book that we are using, like in the city of Ekurhuleni, it's saving all the courts that are in the city of Ekurhuleni. That means when you see, and the streets are only divided per municipal courts. For example, if the streets are around Germiston, they will be limited to Germiston or Ellisburg municipal court or court. You see, that's a challenge. But in terms of crime prevention and other things, I must mention that our members even testify, even now, we are authorizing our members to go and testify, paid by the city for accommodation, to go and testify in KZN for the arrests that they've made there. Our members are going to different provinces. The city pays for accommodation, pays for everything because of the arrests that they made within that province or that area. And it's happening. It has been happening before I became in charge or before I was promoted as a member. It is still happening. Even if now when I'm not, it's still happening. It's happening. And it was authorized by different chiefs. I became in, I know that I also authorized for accommodation for other members, for cases that are taking 10 years, 15 years, or not 15, but cases that are being postponed. Members are attending those things. Thank you.
Okay. You recall when, before I referred to these two documents, I had said we should skip JD 18, Roman 1, which I said is the later agreement with the different municipalities, local municipalities and the 3 metropolitans and the Gauteng Department of Community Safety. You recall that?
Yes, yes, yes.
And that is at page 396, if we could just quickly turn to that. And
page?
It starts at page 396, JD 18 Roman 1.
It's a different file, eh?
No, the same file of your statement, of your supplementary statement.
Oh, statement.
Yes. And I refer to this document. You recall this is the document I pointed out was signed by the acting city manager of Ekurhuleni on the 15th of April 2025, so last year. So this is about the most recent, I take it?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
This is the recent one.
Now, I just want to test whether, would I be correct to rely on its wording to understand your response as regards the issue of jurisdiction. And for that purpose, I would like to refer you to page 402 and clause 7 of that agreement. So that memorandum of understanding at clause 7 sets out the areas and manner of cooperation. Do you see that?
Parties partake to cooperation within the means, it's within, yes.
Yes, and then it lists preventing, combating, and suppressing crime, including but not limited to, list them, creation of shared safer cities and towns, development of programs, alignment of strategies, training and capacity building. If you go over leaf at 403, it then addresses at clause 7.2, manner of cooperation. And it says the parties shall cooperate by exchange of information. 721, do you see where I'm reading?
Exchange of information, interest of, yes.
Yes. Searching for wanted suspects and missing persons, sharing of policing technology, training courses. What I'm particularly interested in is from paragraph 7.2.6, which reads, and I quote, cooperation within the framework of this MOU shall take place on the basis of request for assistance from the executive authority or on the initiative of the executive authority which deems such assistance to be of interest to other executive authority. Do you see that?
Yes.
Now, the term executive authority, I think, is defined